This is the plaintiff, Frederick Nevins. He says he bought a Boston whaler boat from the defendant, and the guy pawned the thing off on him with a cracked engine. That's right. He didn't tell him the boat was defective. He royally ripped him off, and he's here suing for what's right. And that's the $3,756.86 that he is owed. This is the defendant, Barry. He says he ran the engine on the boat for the plaintiff and everything worked fine, so the guy bought it. Now, a year later after the winter, he sues him, claiming he sold him a defective boat? Ha! Come on, buddy. The boat's 44 years old. He doesn't know what he did to it after he sold it to him. And he thinks this lawsuit's gonna sink today with the judge, and he will come out the victor. He's accused of taking advantage of a landlubber.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff bought a Boston whaler boat from the defendant. It was totally defective. But the defendant says the guy is complaining a year later. It's the case of that boat don't float.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Nevins, you're suing, you've asked us to refer to you only by your first name, Barry, who brought his fraternity with him, for $3,756.86 that you want reimbursed to you because, according to you, he sold you a lemon of a boat. Tell me what happened.
On September 16th, 2018, I purchased a boat, a Boston whaler, 13-foot, with a 25 horsepower, four-stroke engine on the boat.
How old was the hull itself?
The boat is from 1974.
Okay.
And the
engine was from where?
2002.
And how much did you pay?
I paid $3,300.
Okay. Did you test drive it or in any way run it in order to see what you were buying was something that you wanted to buy?
I didn't test drive the boat, but the boat was on a trailer, and he started the engine for me.
Okay. And have you purchased boats in the past?
I have.
How many?
Maybe a half a dozen, 6,
Okay.
8.
And
boats.
so have you in the past bought boats in this fashion where you hear the motor running and then you know that it's good and et cetera, et cetera?
Yes.
Okay. So you end up buying it, and what do you do with it when you take it off his property?
I brought it and trailered it to my house and put it in the driveway, stored it in the driveway.
How long was it in the driveway?
About 2 days.
Then the next thing that happens, you take it to the marina and you get it winterized, right?
I took it to the marina, yes.
So you didn't test drive it then either?
No.
Okay. So then you winterize a boat, and then the following summer,
Yes.
you finally put it on the water when?
And about the second week of July.
Okay. How'd it go?
After about an hour of using the boat, the motor started to sputter and stop. And then
The very first time you used it?
Yes.
Okay, because in your complaint, what you said is I
Or the
used it
second
once or
time.
twice.
It might have been the second
for
time.
maybe an hour or two.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, oil started pouring out of the engine. So what day did oil start pouring out of the engine?
I would
Was
say
it in July? Was it in August?
It was in July.
All right. So what'd you do?
I had to get the boat back on the trailer. I had to put the boat and the trailer on a ferry with the car. I had to go over to the mainland and leave the boat at a Mercury dealer, which
Did they
was the
finally
engine.
tell you what they thought was wrong with it?
Yes.
And what day did they put in writing what they thought was wrong with it?
Yes, they said that tested under a load, they found that the oil came through the carburetor.
Okay, can
When
I
it-
see that? Hand it to my bailiff. Thank you, sir. So the mechanic looks at it. It looks like he took it in on the 23rd and gave the opinion on the 30th. Oil's leaking from the top of the cavitation plate. Repair is needed. We also found the wrong fuel filter was installed. Engine had no oil in it. So we launched and tested under a load. What does that mean, under a load?
It means in the water.
In the water.
With pressure on the
And found
motor.
that the oil comes out through the carburetor when running under a load. Not worth repairing. Okay. So you find all this out July 30th, and you purchased the boat the prior September.
Yes.
And you've had the boat in your possession since that September to July. Did you sell him a lousy boat that had this problem? Did you know about this problem?
When that boat left my driveway, it was running fine. I never had any problems with it.
Do you have the paperwork from the sale?
The sale from
Is
me
there
to
a
him?
paperwork from
Yes,
the
I have a bill of sale.
Yeah, yeah.
And he did not pay $3,300 for the boat. He paid $3,000 for the
Okay.
boat. And I have a bill of sale.
The people who you brought here today, are they here for happy hour or are they witnesses? Are they moral support or witnesses?
They have FOMO, Your Honor.
They have FOMO?
Yes.
So they had to come because
had
you
to
were
come. They
coming?
just
They
had to
just
come.
literally couldn't let you have your moment. They had to all join you. Okay. Is this the bill of sale for your boat?
I have the, I believe I have the same bill of sale, and I have $3,300.
Let me see your bill of sale. I'm curious to get to the bottom of that little issue.
I believe, Your Honor, the sale price was left blank, and he left it with me as blank, and I put in the price that I remembered paying for it.
Why would you leave it blank?
Well, I sold him
So
the
he can
boat.
cheat the
I
tax
sold
man?
him, pardon me?
So he can cheat the tax man?
Not me.
Well, no, but
I
why
was the seller.
facilitate? You makes you an accessory. Why wouldn't you just write? A bill of sale implies that you are recording the sale. If you don't write the price, what's the point of the
Right.
bill of sale?
So who has a boat around here?
I do. I live on a sailboat, a
Oh, wow.
38-foot sailboat.
So tell me why boats are so expensive, why they break so easy.
They're in the marine environment, the water, the salt water, the condensation, the metal.
Oh, that's so cool. You live in a boat.
Yeah,
I love that.
13 years on a sailboat.
Wow. Cramped?
No, my husband and I love it a lot.
Oh, I love that too. Going inside the courtroom.
In any event, the one thing that is the same in both of them are the words "as is." Okay. So what did you think the words "as is" means? I mean, you've
Well-
been around the block. Tell me what you thought that meant.
I told the defendant when I was buying the boat my situation.
What was your situation?
My situation was that I was using the boat as what's called a tender or a dinghy.
So that boat was to get you to a bigger boat
bigger
that you
boat.
also have.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And I told him that I would not be using the boat, that I'm trusting him and that.
Oh, I don't care what you told him. I'm
that-
asking you what you
and
think
that-
the words.
that-
Listen to me. I'm asking you about your conduct, not his. I'm
Right.
asking you what you thought the words "as is" meant.
Excellent condition.
As is means excellent condition?
Yes, because I have a piece of paper that was the sale, that was the advertisement.
So
and it says
I'm going to explain to you what "as is" means after I see the advertisement.
condition is excellent.
Okay. What do you think is the legal effect of the words "as is"? Nothing?
Well, what I thought was as is meant in the condition that he told me that it was in.
Okay, let me explain to you what it means. As is means that you can't come crying later. It means buyer beware. It means you better make sure you really want it because I'm not giving you a warranty. He's not a dealership. He's a private party selling something. By default, even if those words hadn't been there, by default, the sale is as is. But it's even more so when it says as is. Makes it even more difficult for you to come in here and sue for even more than you paid for the boat. It makes it very difficult. But I'll tell you what else makes your case very difficult. You had the boat October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, 10 months. And 10 months later, you are coming to talk about something and claiming that it was there 10 months ago. How on earth are you going to prove that in this courtroom? According to your own statement, you had used the boat once or twice. How do we know that whatever you did didn't break whatever is the problem now? How is it that you can possibly think that you're going to be able to prove that he sold it to you knowing it had a defect, lied to you, covered it up, and or that the defect even existed in September?
Well, I did not use the boat.
Well, why did you say you used it once or twice?
When I got it to the island that I was staying on, that day, I put it in the water, I used it once or twice. There seemed to be a problem with the engine.
Mr. Nevins,
Yes.
you purchased an as-is boat, okay? With how old was that motor?
Motor was 2002, so it was 16 years
Okay,
old.
almost old enough to vote, all right? And you're a savvy boat purchaser. It's not like you just fell off a turnip truck and it's your first boat because you were so, not that the law would be different if it were, but you are someone who bought this to be a tender to a bigger boat that you also own. You've bought half a dozen boats. You know what as is means. And you know that what you should have done is at a minimum, when you got it to the marina to test drive it there, figure out if there's anything, have a mechanic take a look at it. But even then would be too late. The time to have a mechanic take a look at a boat is before you buy the boat. But nobody wants to pay the mechanic $100 to have him take a look at the boat. Only my husband. Okay? So I honestly, there's a meaning to as is. There is a legal ramification to it. And you are not an exception to the legal ramification. The laws aren't different for you than they are for everybody else who buys in an as-is sale. As-is means exactly what we both know it means. It means that you can't come the day later and complain, much less 10 months later. Verdict for the defendant.
Well, here comes Mr. Nevins. Mr. Nevins, I must admit, I feel sorry for you.
Thank you very much.
I'm surprised you didn't know what as-is means, but I think you just got a legal definition. What do you think?
Well, I did get a legal definition.
You know, it doesn't matter what you want to show me.
Yes.
The law says you're dead in the water.
Okay. Well.
Okay?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I feel that what was told to me by the seller, I took as his word, and I do believe that the engine was defective, and it did say on the advertisement that it was in excellent condition.
But you bought it as is. You read those words on the contract.
Well, I thought as is meant in excellent condition.
You got to go back and read the dictionary, okay?
Yes.
Look it up.
Right.
I'm sorry you learned a tough lesson there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Barry and the Happy Hour gang, if you want to come on out. Why'd you bring all these guys to court with you?
They're like my service dogs.
Your service dogs. You should appreciate that.
He told us we were going to go play golf.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you're going to golf after this. You're not surprised the outcome, are you?
I'm not. I mean,
Do you feel bad for him, though?
I feel bad for him. I sold him a good boat and a good motor, and had he called me in May, June, even,
Yeah.
I would have talked to him about it. But he never called me, never said a word. Next thing I know, I'm getting a summons in court. So,
All right. Okay.
it is what it is.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Have a good golf game, guys. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yes, take care now.
Jeez. Harvey, what do you think?
Hey, Doug, a boat's just like a car. Have it checked out by a mechanic before you buy it.